We got a bunch of new set photo leaks last week, including stuff from James Gunn's The Suicide Squad and Matt Reeves' The Batman, and we're going to be breaking down all of these photos right now. Hello everybody and welcome back to another movie news video. My name is Joker, and today we're going to be breaking down these set photo leaks from both The Suicide Squad and The Batman to see what types of storytelling we can get from these photos. So first off, earlier this week we got some set leaks from James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, and everyone's getting some interesting ideas as to what these characters are going to be looking like on screen. Especially Harley Quinn. So when Margot Robbie was first cast as Harley Quinn way back for the original Suicide Squad in 2016, everyone seemed okay with it. It seemed like a pretty good casting. And then once we started seeing the costume design and the set photos, it started to look a little odd. Her costume seemed very just thrown together, and the color scheme was very different from what we usually see with the original red and black. And overall, a lot of her costume design was really just based off of sex appeal and how much little clothing they could put on her, and it was really off-putting. Aside from the fact that she was one of the best parts of the Suicide Squad movie from 2016, it still left a lot of people with a bad taste in their mouth for how they handled the role of Harley Quinn. But just recently with Birds of Prey, we got a completely new spin on Margot Robbie's adaptation of Harley Quinn with a lot of different outfits, a little less sex appeal, and more of bringing her character into her own light, being more of the Harley Quinn she wanted to be and less of what the audience slightly wanted her to be. And somehow, to the surprise of nobody, a lot of fans were again upset with the costume design, especially a bunch of sad fanboys who apparently realized that Harley Quinn has to look a specific way, otherwise they have nothing to get off to in the movie theater. I'm sorry, but some people are just weird like that. But then we've got these new set leaks from the Suicide Squad, and right off the bat, again, completely different costumes. They are bouncing back and forth between all of these random shots. None of the costumes really seem connected between all of the films, which is fine, but it's just interesting to see what kind of stuff they throw on screen and just what the character's going to be wearing and the reason behind it. So we look at this, and it does kind of look like James Gunn is taking Harley Quinn back to her roots, and of course I'm talking the hair color roots because she's back to the red and black original color scheme that we had from the Batman animated series and through most of her career as a comic book villain. So from the shot we're looking at here, you can kind of see she does have the more of the red and black in the hair, which I think is preferred in my case as opposed to the powder blue, pink, and red that they were kind of doing with Suicide Squad and a little bit with the Birds of Prey film. I wasn't a big fan of it just because I prefer the red and black look, but seeing as they're going back to it, that's kind of cool. And the dress she's wearing is really interesting. You really don't see Harley Quinn wearing a dress, so that's really something different. But we can go to an image here in a little bit where it shows that it could possibly be a wedding dress, not necessarily for her wedding, or she could be attending a wedding, but she's got a nice big red dress, and you can see in this one here, it is kind of torn up. When we go to this next image, you'll see that it is slightly more filled out. I'm not sure if there was a fight between now and then in these photos, but there potentially was. But before we move to that photo, we can still see more of the cast in this, and it's getting really interesting to see all of these different character designs. We've got Idris Elba there in the center, who originally was supposed to be taking on the role of Deadshot, allegedly, but now he's been signed on to be the character Vigilante. To his left, we have David Dastmalchian, who is playing the Polka Dot Man. I love David Dastmalchian. Seeing him in this movie honestly makes me extremely happy just because of all of the different wacky roles he's done throughout his career. This is definitely at the top of his list, something that I could easily see him playing. If we go to the far left of the screen, we can see Daniela Melchior, who is playing the Ratcatcher. I personally don't know too much about this character, but I'm going to assume that the costume fits exactly what she's supposed to be doing. But at the very top of the screen, you can see Steve Agee, who has the motion tracking suit on to bring King Shark to life. King Shark's been one of the better characters in the new animated Harley Quinn TV series, so I'm really excited to see King Shark brought into a fuller aspect in this new Suicide Squad movie, especially being alongside Harley Quinn. And here's that other image I was talking about. This is obviously well early on because her hair is up. She has it real nice. The dress looks nice and clean. You can kind of see down toward the bottom, it is filled out a whole lot more, and it's not tore up like it was in the previous image. So I'm just wondering what this dress has to do, and I guarantee she's going to have some costume changes throughout this movie. I'm going to just take a guess and say potentially, let's say she's got 3 costume changes. Unless they want to keep her in the dress throughout the entire movie, which I mean, I don't mind. It's just a really different way of looking at things, and you really don't see her fighting people in a dress, but again, it is Harley Quinn, and that looks like that's just what happened. But that's not the only news we got this week in DC movie news, as we also got more leaked images and footage from the new Batman solo film directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson. So we did get a 1-minute screen test earlier last week that was pretty fantastic, giving us a quick look at the Bat logo design on the chest, as well as a little bit of the cowl and a little bit of how the cape's going to flow behind him. It was really interesting, but we wanted to see more, and we really couldn't see too much in that dim red lighting they had for the photo shoot. And now looking at this, it looks like Batman is straight out of World War II, riding a motorcycle straight into combat with this really rugged, meant for combat style batsuit that is really interesting. It is very much reminiscent of the Batman Zero Year comic storyline, which has a lot of these different aspects. But let's just take a look at what we see here. We can see more of the suit now. He's got, is like I said, very rugged, very armor padded, like a very young Batman would have, wanting to protect himself because he's still new and getting into the game. And I had this wrong last time, but I do want to comment on the fact that the actual bat layout in the chest plate is actually supposed to be made out of the gun that Joe Chill used to kill his parents, and that's what they're going to be going with in this movie, which I'm totally on board for. But of course, that leads me to more concerns as we go up and again into the cowl. The whole headpiece just looks really odd. The ears, I don't have a problem with the height. I know a lot of people were kind of upset with the shorter ears that Ben Affleck had in Batman v Superman, but they just look like super thin and pointy. I'm not quite sure what's going on there or what the whole concept behind this is. Maybe it's a helmet specifically for this suit used for the motorcycle ride. Perhaps this design is meant because it's a stunt double. You can clearly see this is not Robert Pattinson, although the chin would possibly leave you to believe that that is actually Ben Affleck, but it's not. Obviously, this is a stunt double, and that's probably why the cowl looks so big around his head, or maybe that's just what it's actually going to look like. I'm a little iffy on that. I'm not a big fan, but we'll see it once the actual thing comes onto the big screen. Maybe they'll change it and sleek it up by then. Who knows? But we also get this great look at the Bat bike, and I think it's pretty awesome. This isn't something we see a whole lot. We did get the Bat pod in the Dark Knight universe, but it's slightly different from the Bat bike as we see here. It even has the bat ears going up over the side of it there. We've got some really thick tires, and there's a video online somewhere where he was driving along and crashed, and interestingly enough, in that video there was another motorcycle with him. I thought it was a sidecar filming from the side, but it's actually supposedly supposed to be Zoe Kravitz's portrayal of Catwoman, who's going to be in the shot as well. That I don't know. She seems to, if it is her, she's got a helmet on through that entire scene, so you can't actually confirm that. I don't know if there's some costume play in there as well. And before anyone gets freaked out over the fact that a lot of people were complaining about this, that there is no cape in the shot. Since it's a stuntman driving on a motorcycle, it's raining, and he's on a gravel road, I'm going to imagine either this is going to be a CGI'd cape for scenes like this where it's in high-flowing traffic, or this is going to be something more like Batman Zero Year where he doesn't have a cape for a majority of it, if at all. So a lot of the scenes in the comic, at least when he's on a motorcycle, there is no cape. So it could go either way, and there are several moments where we see Batman without a cape, so I mean, it's not the big deal. If this is going to be one scene where they CGI a cape, it's not the first time we've seen that, so just lay off of it for right now. They did just start shooting, and these are just set leaks from very early in shooting, so who knows what's going to change. This might not even be in the movie. It could be reshot later. We don't know. But what do you guys think of these set photos? Does this make you excited for anything from the new Suicide Squad film or the new Batman film? Is Matt Reeves going to knock it out of the park with Batman? Is James Gunn finally going to deliver a great Suicide Squad movie as opposed to the one we got in 2016? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to talk about it. But until we get any more set leaks or any more information on either of these movies or anything else in the DC universe, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Remember, if you like what you saw, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more movie news videos or if you'd like to see anything else. But until then, and as always, I will see you guys next time.